Welcome to the Sanctuary. I'm Kyle, and I'm here to tell you, never be afraid to step into the pleasure den of the absurd. I just wanted to alert you to a benefit concert that appeared on YouTube, and I didn't know that there was going to be a benefit concert, but it was for Denny Laine, who is a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he was a big part of Paul McCartney and Wings in the 70s. I mean, it was essentially Paul McCartney, Denny Laine, and Linda McCartney, with a succession of other musicians throughout their career as Wings. And Denny Laine is in ill health now, and a GoFundMe was set up, so his friends and fellow musicians set up this benefit concert that was held at the Troubadour in California on November 27th, 2023. And yes, Denny Laine is ill, which is why Paul is over here looking over his shoulder saying, whoa, what now? What now? So as we're coming into this swell of nostalgia at the start of the holiday season here, I just wanted to alert everybody to check this out. The full concert is on YouTube, and I watched it last night before I went to bed, and I watched it all again this afternoon in its entirety. And there's a multitude of guests. Denny Laine's band is sort of the house band with various other people coming in and out. There's a couple people playing drums, a couple people playing bass, that kind of a thing. It's pretty well organized. You'll have they'll announce who's coming out. They'll do a song, maybe two, maybe three, but usually it's just one or two. And they, put the instrument down, they get off the stage, and somebody else comes out, and each person that comes out has a little something to say about Denny Laine and the man and the musician, and I thought it was really good. And there was a few things that stood out in my mind as I'm watching this thing, and I found the set list on setlist.fm on the internet there, and it tells you exactly who was there and who played what, and I couldn't quite hear some of the names of the people as they were being announced on the video, so I'm going to go by this list here to say who was who. So the Denny Laine band opened things up with Venus and Mars. They go on a rock show. They do Jet. And then they do Mrs. Vanderbilt. Lawrence Juber comes on stage and does No Words. And then Albert Lee comes out and plays along with Lawrence Juber. And Albert Lee sings a couple of Buddy Holly songs, Rave On and Raining in My Heart. Now, here's where things really start get interesting and very nostalgic. Albert Lee, is just a standout guitar player, and I didn't really know he could sing, and he sings really well. And hearing these songs, Rave On and Raining in My Heart, I mean, this is early rock and roll, early pop. And these songs are quite the standout. It's a lot different than rock and roll now, as you'll know, especially as some of the other acts come on here. So next up, Doug Gillard comes out and does another Buddy Holly song, Heartbeat. And then Peter Asher and Jeremy Clyde come out. Now, here's a couple of old timers. I'll tell you what. Peter Asher was part of Peter and Gordon, and Jeremy Clyde was part of Chad and Jeremy, and two singing duos in the early 60s. So as you would expect, they do 2 Chad and Jeremy songs, and then they do 2 Peter and Gordon songs. Sorry, I'm getting lost here. But again, wow, these are, as you can tell as they're playing them, both guys are singing and playing guitars with the band behind them, and they're both singing great. Their voices sound great, and this is where it hit me, in this era where, Paul McCartney's lost his voice, where, that Steven Tyler's vocal cords are bleeding, and Paul Stanley can't sing anymore. And, it just goes to show that, these songs where you really are just singing and not screaming, you're singing and you're harmonizing, and it really makes a beautiful sound, especially with these songs. I mean, like, they might seem a little dated or schmaltzy or something like that, which I can understand, but at the same time, it does have that early Beatles flavor to it, because that was the sound of the day. I mean, this kind of sound went all the way from the early 60s basically up to 1967. This was very prevalent, what these guys were doing and what it sounded like. So Peter Asher and Jeremy Clyde, like, these old timers are showing everybody what's what, I'll tell you. Then Lawrence Juber comes out again and does again and again and again. And then they introduce Andrew Sandoval, who this guy is, he sort of maintains the Monkees catalog. And they also, when they introduced him, they said he was a singer, which he sings this song by the Moody Blues, Boulevard de la Madeleine, which is a nice little song too. Paul McCartney was a great songwriter, as everybody knows, and it's demonstrated by all these great Wings songs, But this little set of early rock and roll and pop by the Moody Blues, and Peter and Gordon, and Chad and Jeremy and all that stuff, Buddy Holly. It really adds something to it, because this is where Denny Laine came from. Then the Denny Laine band comes back out and they do Hi, Hi, Hi. And then out comes Neil Hamburger. That's who they have listed here, doing a song called Backwards Traveler. And here's, up next comes, for me, what was the most unexpected highlight. Unexpected as it was, it is a highlight. And this performance, somebody else posted this performance of Puddles Pity Party. Now, I had seen that this person has videos of their own up on YouTube, and I've never watched them, so I was kind of surprised to see this, big guy dressed up as a clown, all in white with a little crown on his head. And I'm like, wow, okay. He must be something special to be on this stage. And so I'm like, he comes out, and they just right away go into My Love, which is a favorite of mine by McCartney and Wings. And I was like, wow, you know, it was easy to see, you know, why he was there. By his accent, you could tell he's either Austrian or German. So here you got this big German oaf dressed up as a clown belting out Paul McCartney and Wings. And it was good. I got to admit, man, I thought it was really great. So after Puddles Pity Party, Tim Heidecker comes out. And he is like, I guess, a comedian, an actor, and he's created a bunch of shows that you might see on Adult Swim. And he came out and did, he sings Live and Let Die, then he straps on a guitar, and they play Let Me Roll It. So that was really cool. And then Mark Stormer comes out and does The Note You Never Wrote. And next up was Bebopalula, so doing Say You Don't Mind, a Denny Laine song. Then the Denny Laine band does Time to Hide. Joe Bouchard comes out and does Mulligan Tire. Joe Bouchard was a singer for Blue Oyster Cult. And then next up comes out Mickey Dolenz and playing bass. You know, it's this lovely woman. And as I looked into it just before making this video, it turns out that that's Susanna Hoffs from the Bangles playing bass. And together they do with the band Silly Love Songs and I'm a Believer. and then next up, you see Paul Shaffer come out, and he does a little early James Brown, I'll Go Crazy, and then they launch into Go Now by the Moody Blues with Lawrence Juber on guitar. So then after Paul Shaffer, it looks like everybody comes back out on the stage. And they do Band on the Run. Probably one of McCartney's greatest songs. I mean, for me, it might be at the top of the list. I mean, as far as solo and Wings goes. And everybody's just having a great old time. A lot of nice words were said about Denny Laine. And you know, it's for a good cause, and it's worth a watch. So, check out the full Denny Laine benefit concert from November 27, 2023, recorded at the Troubadour in California. And it's a great watch, you know, and if you're a Paul McCartney and Wings fan, I think you'll really like it. Some performers definitely hit high marks, you know, but it's fun, and you know, for something that was put together rather quickly, I thought it was pretty well organized. You know, they rehearsed, that's for sure, and it all worked out. And you know, I hope Denny Laine, who was always my favorite member of Wings, I hope he gets better and you know, gets out of whatever health issues he's having now. And I want to thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you really like what we do, is just sort of set the camera down and look into it. Usually I hold stuff up and talk about it. You know, subscribe to the channel if you're into it, and like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, that's kind of the drill. But more importantly, if I can, I'll see if that GoFundMe link is still up and running for Denny Laine, and I'll put that link in the description of the video. And again, I want to thank you for watching. Go listen to some music, go check out this concert. Go check out Puddles Pity Party doing My Love. There's a video of that solo on YouTube as well as a couple other songs. I think I saw Tim Heidecker doing Live and Let Die, and there might be Mickey Dolenz doing Silly Love Songs, and one or two others. Not every song has its own individual video, but the concert's nice. It's a good listen, and I want to thank you for listening to me and watching my videos, and never be afraid to step into the pleasure den of the absurd.